Hey everyone. First of all, I apologize. I don't have any makeup on today. I have a chemical edema in my left eye. I got some perfume in it and it burned my eye a little bit, so I don't have any makeup on. So bear with me. But I wanted to share with y'all one of my Phalaenopsis. She'll be purple eventually. Beautiful purple flowers. She's actually the replacement that I bought for the one with the terminal spike when I realized I had a terminal spike. So I'm going to push her in a little bit closer here so you can see here is the spike that she started growing. For people that do not live in Texas and don't have their air conditioning running 24/7, we get spikes on Phalaenopsis orchids all year long if you're growing them indoors because the orchids are in air conditioning, so you can make the spike happen. For those of you that don't live in a region like this is a trick that only works on Phalaenopsis orchids or the orchids that you get in like grocery stores, garden centers, nurseries. You can get them everywhere because Phalaenopsis orchids are the most popular orchid right now in the communities. They're the ones with these nice long leaves. They have crowns, right? And they grow spikes and beautiful flowers. I'll go get an example of actually the one with the terminal spike so you can see what this one's flowers will look like eventually. Hang on. So this is what the flowers will look like. You can see these back ones are getting old. They're starting to wither a little bit because they've been out here for a few weeks. They haven't lasted as long as they really should, but this is her third spike on the same spike, but this is what the flowers will eventually look like on her sister orchid. They're just this beautiful, beautiful purple color, okay? I've got one more bloom to open here. She did have one here, but it blasted, and I'm not sure why, but you can see here, let me turn it this way, that in the crown, the spike came out. This is the terminal spike. This is what's going to kill this plant eventually. So what I'm hoping for on her, is a keiki, so that she will create a clone of herself and that I'll be able to grow that one in her place. I haven't seen one yet, but fingers crossed. Okay, so this is what the flowers will eventually look like on the other orchid that we're looking at today. The reason that I brought this orchid to y'all is I wanted to show you what a healthy Phalaenopsis orchid might look like. Now, a lot of times I'll say, oh, healthy Phalaenopsis orchids, they're going to have green tips on their roots, and their leaves are going to be bright green or light green. They're going to be firm and sturdy. I'm going to show you some of those things here. These are, if I tried to bend this over, it would break, okay? These are well-hydrated leaves, okay? That's true. I've got stickiness on here under the leaves. That's a good sign. That's called happy sap. When a plant is healthy, an orchid's happy, it will produce sap that is sweet. It's fructose, and it's actually what attracts ants to it. It's because the plant's growing the way it's supposed to, so that's a good thing. I would not have allowed this plant to grow the flower spike if it weren't for the fact that this is a healthy plant. I would have cut it and forced it to continue growing vegetatively because that's more important at this stage. It's not winter time. This is not the time for Phalaenopsis orchids. The one thing that is different on this orchid is my root tips. You'll see here, this is not a green root tip, it's red. That's atypical, but that's because this, you saw, has very, very dark purple flowers. This particular Phalaenopsis is very heavy in the anthromycin as a result. Anthromycin is what Phalaenopsis and orchids produce when exposed to sunlight. It's a purplish or a dark reddish color. You can see it really well on this leaf as well. On the top, compared to this leaf, is green. This one's more reddish. You can also see it on the underside. But the best place to see it on this particular orchid is on the tips of the roots. These are called fingernails. That's active growth, and so that's really, really good signs or indications that the plant is healthy. You can see on this root isn't actively growing very much because you don't have a very large fingernail. There's a tiny, tiny, tiny piece. I don't know if you can see it because it's not focusing right there, that's starting to become a fingernail, but it's not much of one, right? Now, the biggest question is this plant healthy? So far, so good, but I want to check the root system. That's why I use clear pots. So I'm going to pull her out and just be prepared. I might giggle like a little schoolgirl because this is the real reason I enjoy growing orchids. This has all happened since February when I potted her in here. These are extremely healthy Phalaenopsis roots, and like I said, all of them pretty much have fingernails. They've grown through the pot slots, and they're pooling at the base because this the Mexican painted pot, it has some gaps, so all of the roots have gathered and they're growing down there in this beautiful, nice, rich pattern. I'm trying to be very gentle because I don't want to damage them, but when I look at these, they make me laugh. This is definitely a sign of healthy orchid growth. You can see them in the pot as well, coming out of the slots on the sides. There's no way I would cut these roots right now because I'm about to let her flower, right? This is just pure joy to me. So this is a sign of vigorous growth, right? This is about 5 months of root growth. When your orchids do this, you know that they're happy. So this right here is ultimately the reason that this plant is making me happy right now. When I see this, this brings me joy. So yes, I love the flowers, don't get me wrong. I've been showing y'all my flowers, but this brings me real joy. I see this, I start laughing uncontrollably in a very, very happy, joyful way. So yes, she's very happy, she's very content. I'm tickled by this orchid. I did bring one in for contrast. This little cattleya has never done well for me. I've had her since February, the same time that I repotted the Phalaenopsis we've been looking at. I repotted it in April. That's what the tag says right here. Okay. This is a RLC Miss Thailand, a Pasra. It's a Mariclone. So it should look exactly like the parent. And it used to have 5 pseudobulbs, and we're down to 2 very dry, unhappy pseudobulbs. I've been trying very hard to get her to recover. She hasn't been doing so well. I've got 2 mature bulbs and 1 immature growth that it did produce this on its own. But again, if you look here, what don't you see? There are no roots that are visible in the pot. There are a couple of roots that have grown down. When I repotted in April, I could see them, but by repotting, of course, I compromised the root system again, but she wasn't doing well. One of the pseudobulbs was in the middle, was rotting, so I had to cut her. I was fortunate in that the rot didn't go all the way down to the rhizome. The other 2 were seedling bulbs, and I just cut those off in June because they rotted away. It's just not a very good growth. I'm hoping that with these 2 and the new growth will have 3 bulbs by the end of the summer. This is not going to flower this year. She's just not very happy. She came to me compromised, not well, and so hopefully by next year we'll see something, but it'll be hit or miss. If not, she'll end up in the garbage bin, and I'll try with a healthier orchid next time. So, you know, that's kind of what you see. But I just wanted y'all to see what looks healthy in a vegetative growth. That's why, even though it's summertime, I'm letting the flower spike grow. So yeah, I hope y'all are having a great day, having a great summer, and I will see you soon. Bye.